What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Tackling Outdoors. In today's video, we got the Battle on Bago Summer Edition 2023 Walleye Fishing Tournament. This tournament was over Father's Day weekend this year, and there were 343 boats that participated in the tournament. It's classified as, I believe, the biggest inland fishing tournament that there is, especially for walleyes. So it's always a good time. Lots of good sticks out there. It's a bit different of a format than most. I guess I shouldn't say for most, but most tournaments are starting to transition to this. It's a catch picture release format, and so what that is every fish is worth a certain weight based off their length. So when we get the after check-in, you get a official bump board and a fresh camera chip every day that's formatted to your team. And when you get out there, you take a picture of your board and your number. And then every fish, it's supposed to be in a specific way. The pictures are supposed to be taken. So what that means is that you take a picture of the fish. You have one person holding it down on the bump board, and you have to be able to clearly see that the fish's nose is touching the bump board and where the tail officially touches. And so the minimum length is 15 inches, but the way the tournament works is you always go up a quarter inch past where the fish touches. So what that means is an actual 15-inch fish would be a 15 and a quarter is truly the smallest fish that you can have. But um, I do at the end of the video there is a picture of the conversion chart so that you can see the weight of all the fish for what each size correlates to, and that's where where your tournament scores come from. So how the scoring actually works is that when you get your 5 fish on your card, you just basically keep upgrading all day. It's a pretty cool format compared to like the Walleye Weekend specifically. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool to walk up on stage with a good basket of fish, but it's also nice to be able to fish all day and not be restricted in the amount of lines you can have out at a certain point or have to stop early and go to weigh in early. I mean, it's cool, but it's also nice to be able to fish all day and just upgrade your fish so everyone gets the exact same amount of fishing time throughout the day. It adds a whole other element to it, but so say you put your first 5 fish on the card and they're all 16 inches. Every fish that's above 16 inches that you put on the card basically bumps off the other fish off the card, so you can have numerous fish on the card. I mean, I think we had 11 fish the one day on the card and might have been 10 the other day. So it's cool. I mean, it gives you can upgrade since in Wisconsin you can't cull walleyes. So, and what culling is putting your fish in the live well and upgrading to bigger sizes. You can see here in the video how how the process works of Tim's holding the fish to the bump board, and I'm taking a picture. You got to do your best to shade them, hold them in a specific manner. So you take the pictures of the fish, try to take multiple pictures of it, and then they call it a hero shot where Tim will hold the fish up and take a picture of that, and then release it, and that's all she wrote. So simple as that. It's better for the fish. You're not leaving them in a live well all day and trying to bring them back to life. Although we have a pretty good survival rate with our fish, it's not very often that we ever lose a fish. But yeah, this camera was not ideal for taking pictures. And let's just forget that happened during the tournament. First time ever doing that, just totally slipped out of my hands. And we ended up having to spool the line because the clicker was on. So we had a huge rat's nest of line in the live well for the rest of the tournament. It's a good thing that we have extra rods in the boat because, yeah, that was bad. But like I said in the other tournament, it's a year first, you know. So that was the first time ever doing that for me. Never, ever in my life dropped a rod in the water. And it is what it is. We got it back, luckily. I mean, we were in 20 feet of water, so it could have been bad. But um, also, another first for the year was blowing up a motor. I've never had any major motor problems with the boat until this time, but you get through it, and that's all there is to it. But I'm going to do my best to keep talking through all this. I kind of explained the format a little bit here. Um, The rules aren't as strict as a walleye weekend because it's the catch picture release format. So it just kind of adds a whole different element to it. So it's not as strict as walleye weekend with all the different stuff they do. But yeah, this will be the last video that does not have any audio in it. Luckily, I caught this after getting back to my house here and being able to plug into the computer and see everything that was going on, fix the problem, and we're good to go. Um, yeah, so in the tournament here, we are trolling crawler harnesses. There's just I don't know, I call it a special place in my heart for all these crawler harnesses, right? Um, yeah, I mean, always have good days with it. When the harness bites on, the harness bites on. And as you can tell, Tim is rather excited by the quality of the fish that we're getting. It's just a good thing to, it's a really good feeling to have when you're in a tournament, you know? You're sitting there out there fishing all day. I mean, you're putting tons of fish in the boat, whether you guys see them all or not. And some days you guys do, we do have slower days, but when you're putting all these fish in the boat, it's just a blast, you know? Like, it's just one fish after another sometimes. And you get these big fish, the bigger fish that are a better tournament quality. Like that one, I believe that one was one of our bigger ones of the day, at 21 inches. I mean, it's always very exciting, and I've always said the day that I'm not excited when you get a good fish like that in the boat during a tournament is the day that I should be done tournament fishing, because that's what it's all about, right? I mean, you're going out there with some of the best people on these bodies of water, and you got to be excited, right? I mean, it's always just a good feeling that you're putting the right stuff out there on the right days, and especially during a tournament day. So we found during pre-fishing on the Friday that the fish were actually a bit deeper than we were fishing the weekend before, and we ended up finding that they were about 28 feet back on our lines here. We run inline weights on all these. I believe that they're 1 ounce. They could be a two ounce inline weight, but the calculation that we use is it's kind of always about half the distance back is what the depth is that you're running, give or take a foot. So I mean, we were seeing fish run quite a bit deeper, so we sent our baits back down to 28 feet back to get down by them, and that's definitely all she wrote. You know, like we clearly were finding fish, and I had to get on a little bit of the action here with the hero shots because I never get a hold of a fish. So here I am taking this absolute monster and trying to teach him how to use this camera on the fly. But luckily, this fish didn't really matter. We definitely had other fish for the day, but unfortunately, I did not get all the fish on camera throughout the day. But you guys can kind of see. You guys get a good peek at everything that did go on during the day. But yeah, so we started running all of our baits about 28 feet to 32 feet back, and we were finding that that's where the walleyes were really liking it. So we obviously started sending everything that way, and we try not to have every single fish or every single bait at that depth because not every single fish is going to relate the same. So we always try to run one or two baits higher than normal, and as much as it might be kind of a bust at times, you know, you're gonna definitely not always catch fish on them, but sometimes it's good to learn, especially as the days progress and the water warms up. The fish do move up in the water column throughout the day, and we will, as the days progress, tend to catch a couple fish a little bit shallower. But that was the last fish catch that we got here for day one, so we're actually picking up and we're heading into weigh-in. So even though it's catch picture release format, we still do have to be to weigh-in by our specific time and turn in our boards. All we do is walk across the stage, turn in our boards with our tallied score for the day, and hand them our SD cards. They go through them all, verify all of our weights, and that's how the whole system works. But here's what our weight was for the first day. We had 14.34 pounds, and actually I was wrong. It looks like there was only about 8 fish on the card for the day. Eight upgrades though, so it's not like we weren't catching more fish than that. But so here we are with day 2 again, and another beautiful morning, and we're hoping for the best. We are sitting in, I believe, 42nd place after the first day, which was not too shabby out of 343 boats. And what we knew is that we were going to have a good day going in, a better day than the first day. As the day went, the first day, we did know that we needed to stay further away from the boats. As we got more into the boats, we definitely did not catch as many fish, and the size of the fish that we did catch were not as good. So as we were heading out in the morning, we were going, we're following these boats, but as we were getting out there, we had a few mile trip to get out to where we were. We weren't overly far from the launch for the day, but we get out there and set in. We started about a mile south of where we were on Saturday, and wow, that is what you want to see. 5 minutes into the morning, you got a board standing up there. But so we set up about, like I said, about a mile south of where we were. No boats around. That's what we wanted. We did not want to be by anybody. Our fishing is substantially better when we're away from everybody, so we're sticking to our guns and staying away from everybody. Um, I don't know if this is the truth for everybody or not, but maybe it's just a confidence thing. But I definitely over the years have seemed to have caught way more fish and way better fish when I'm not in the groups of people. If you know where there's a school of boats, there where there's a school of fish, just get away from the boats by that school, and you can usually find some better quality fish. It's not always easy to find it, but when you do, and yeah, and this is a prime example of what can happen. 5 minutes into the morning on Sunday, not a single boat in sight. As you can tell, we're a little bit jacked here. 5 minutes into the morning, but it was a beautiful 23 and a quarter or 23 and 3/4 inch fish. Just a great way to start the day. It was exactly what we knew we needed. So our biggest regret was potentially not just turning the boat around right away and going back through it because we spent an hour and a half and we didn't catch any more legals. So we reset up on the same pass and we went back up and over the marks, didn't have anything at all, and we decided to make a turn. And usually there's not too much of a wave going on right here, but usually we try not to turn too much into the waves or anything ever. But we're like, something's got to give, right? These fish, there's got to be some fish around. And we turned sideways and started getting into the waves, and it was game on from there. It was honestly one of the craziest days of fishing that we have ever had together out there. Like just non-stop action. The fish clearly wanted us driving into the waves for the day, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The one thing with this tournament is they do allow cell phones, and I'm not saying that we use it to find fish, right? We're doing our own thing. We're the only boat around. But as the day progressed and people saw us out there all on our own, just kind of doing our thing all day, we got some phone calls of people asking what we were doing. We were the only people going into the waves, and all we said was try it. And let's just say we got some thank yous from people for the day because that area, that's exactly what the fish wanted. And we got some beers coming our way from the simple tip that we gave everybody. And yeah, it was just an absolute blast. You can tell the excitement. I really, really wish, and I apologize for the plumber's crack there, but I really do wish that we had the audio so you could actually hear us talking about all these, like everything going on. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to actually visually see it, but it's another thing to hear it. And how the day was is we didn't really have hardly anybody anywhere close to us, and then this wonderful boat. It doesn't look as close as it was, but this boat was very close to us. We had just actually netted a double header of walleyes. They weren't big enough to scorecard, but there were still some walleyes, and we had other boards going back. And these guys just stopped and pulled up, and they putzed along at the speed that they're going right now for a good 15 minutes. So I figured it probably was worth giving a wave to them. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Some people just can't find their own fish in a day. And unfortunately, I do not know where the video footage of this catch went, but here's another. Obviously, we're taking a picture of it. It's another scorecard fish, another beautiful fish from the day. It was just, we were just tossing fish back left and right that people would have done anything for. I mean, we had so many like 19-inch fish throughout the day. It was just so much fun. You couldn't have asked for a better day, and to do it with Tim, it's just awesome. Looking back on everything, it's fishing tournaments like with a family member that you can really enjoy doing these things with is half the fun, right? I mean, you get to experience, you get to do stuff together. I mean, I don't live back home anymore, so we don't get to do as much together as we used to. But you look forward to these every year, and I know that Tim enjoys them just as much as I do. And as you can tell, there's no shortage of excitement and fun on the boat with the two of us. All the little things that happen throughout the day, all of our superstitions and whatnot. Superstitions for us, for example, for this day was um, every time I put sunflower seeds in, we started catching more fish, and it's just what it was, whether it truly had anything to do with it or not, it's just what happened throughout the day. And the theme of the tournament was, as some of you guys who know my son Owen and have been around him or heard some of the different Snapchat videos and stuff, the theme for him is have a nice day, right? So every time we catch fish when we're out in the boat, he absolutely loves to have them in the live well so that he can sit and look at them, I guess play with them a little bit, and then after a few minutes he will net them with his little net and he will release them and tell them to have a nice day. It's so what whatever it was for us, it was the have a nice day tournament. After every fish we caught, it was have a nice day. You just can't make it up, right? At this point, the day was so nuts. Tim just takes a seat on the floor. It's just unbelievable and so much fun. When you can't ask for a better tournament of just fish after fish of quality. The crazy thing was throughout the day is that well, at one point we sat and scorecarded it all up and figured out what our total weight was for the day, and our total weight was 18.99. And not to give any spoilers, but that's what our total was. And it was just one of those things like we're like, holy cow, this is an awesome day of fishing. We're having so much fun catching a lot of quality fish that there's nothing to be upset about. And I missed another camera shot here, but there's two separate fish right there. Just those cookie cutter fish like that all day. But first place, they had 29 pounds the first day and 22 the second day. And just to think of how excited we were for the day we had at 18.99 was just unbelievable. Like props to those guys for doing what they did and putting the fish out. But here's a picture of the baits we were using. This copper black and white blade has been a tried and true blade for us for years. And these new purple, these are the outside color is that flat purple, and then the inside color was either the orange or the pink. And something about those, as much as I did not like them to start, I kind of discovered how cool the colored inside was by accident. It was lights out for us, and you can't deny the success that we had with them. We had four of those colors out and one copper one out, and Tim was varying one up just to see if something else changed, but it was awesome. Took fifth place. It was my first time ever getting a plaque from a tournament, and fifth out of 343 might not seem a lot, but it was a great feeling. And then to do it with my brother, you just can't beat the feeling. So I appreciate everybody that's watched this video. I hope you guys all have a great day. If you guys have not liked and subscribed, please do, so you can get notified of future uploads. And take care, everybody.
Have a nice day.